come up with a lot of these emotional scales, and you guys are too polite. There are other words you are keeping in reserve. The idea is to get these feelings off your chest, so later on when you try to do some kind of logical, intellectual analysis, how do you think the winners felt? The winners being Amy and Nancy. How do you think they felt? You don't have to say anything. We will do in-depth psychoanalysis.
Well, satisfied. They had a goal and they achieved their objective.
Very good. Satisfied.
Duped.
Or,
Okay.
I would think fire is a winner's curse.
Winner's curse or buyer's remorse. And how do you think the quote-unquote last round losers felt?
Not so good.
Not so good. Okay. So we can go through this analysis, but you guys are too smart and too left-brained. So we will go into the second question. What happened? Some people started bidding. Anybody remember who was the first bidder?
I heard bid first both times.
Nancy bid first both times. Interesting. What made Nancy bid first both times?
He was
Competitive.
Can we answer?
No, we don't. This is much more fun to be talking about other people behind their back or in front of them. What could be
I think she wants to.
It was the least risk.
to participate?
It's a competitive
Entertainment.
behavior.
It is a competitive behavior.
$5.
Technically, it is called greed $5.
Competitive or is it small?
It could be that she likes to participate.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was,
Mentioned.
yeah, hypothesis which was mentioned previously.
It's only a month. Could be that she
Risk
hasn't
taker.
studied game theory.
Oh, she,
How about the calculated risk?
Okay.
calculated the risk. She calculated and got into the delusion. She got it all figured out. And there is no way she's going to lose. Hello.
Maybe she's hoping that nobody else would bid and we can
Okay.
take turns doing that.
Yep.
Ah,
Nobody else would. Oh, so who is the guilty party? Who was the second bidder? So one hypothesis is the first bid is a wonderful approach from a game theory perspective because you will take the money away from me. It is the second bid we screwed everything up.
That's the classic prisoner's dilemma,
Yeah.
where the best solution is to always collude.
And so on and so forth. So let us fast forward. Why did somebody bid more than $10 for $10?
To reduce the risk.
To reduce the cost, to reduce the penalty, to reduce the risk. How much further we can go with reducing the pain approach? Is that a logical end?
Until the cure is worse than the disease.
The cure is what that is disease. Okay, so that's what happened. If you go home and your kids ask you tonight, hey mom, what did you learn in school today? How would you summarize the key learning point of this activity? What did you learn from this $10 action?
look before you leave.
And that,
Look before you leave.
look before you leave. Let's go with cliches. Look before you leave. A fool and her money are soon parted.
It's good to be the house.
Absolutely.
No,
when you have a lot of people participating, the energy will draw you along, even because it's emotional pull.
Very good. This is the sincere extraction in shape. It's not my fault. It's all the people. Hello,
Take ownership. Participate, when it's part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
excellent.
I was just going to say that if somebody starts by giving away money, they probably have a plan for getting more back.
Ah, yeah.
But they learned that's not true, because you still have the money.
Yeah.
Well, he started it. He's the one who got it.
That's why I was giving away all the money earlier. He knew he was making it back.
Yes, sir.
I've seen the game before, so I knew what that was.
So you knew?
Yes.
You see project car wrecks, you feel exactly the same thing, right?
How many
Why are you
software
doing
projects
that?
do we know are going to wreck, and we still?
Maybe there's
Yeah,
competitive.
all of them, right? You know? Ooh, I can see this train wreck coming. I mean, all those parties do. Don't say anything.
We did say this is insanity, and this is going to. I remember saying I'm not going to trigger more than that.
And I didn't know why.
That wasn't my money anymore.
So he's told us why. People don't learn from experience. And he rushes in to have yet another experience in order to prove the point that we didn't learn from experience. We played Randy too.
And
As fast as we could.
emotions.
But also, you can look at it that
That's a good point.
even after it was a losing situation, you felt that if someone lost more than you didn't like losing.
Oh,
There was
only
cost,
one.
right?
The game is we either continue to play the game, or we opt out. There's no way. There's no structure to end that madness. The only
Is it there?
either
No,
either
someone-
we
someone-
start over.
Someone chooses to lose. That's what it is.
Exactly, just say stop, I don't do it anymore.
This is the best debrief I've seen!
Exactly, and exactly.
That was the point.
That was exactly the point. We came to this session today, we came to this weekend, we came to play these games and to learn from it. And if we're not gonna play the game, we're gonna sit here and say, that's a stupid game, we're gonna lose money, we're not gonna play from it. Why did we spend $500 to come here today?
It's the small money's worth. It's a small risk exercise to learn this. How does it work? How do people participate? That's actually my thing.
This is,
Why not? That's why I gave her $5, because she helped pay for the show. I wouldn't have contributed to that.
exactly.
There's some costs, right? So it's some costs, you can't walk away, you think I spent so much money already, I need to justify it by spending more, instead of walking away. So that's the logic, that's the
talking like
logic.
a true economist. So once you bid $9, it's no longer your $9. It is gone. It is sunk cost, and so on and so forth. This is very rich debriefing. I can do it for a couple of days, but to continue, I will summarize it in the words of the famous Hindu philosopher. You should know when to hold them.
The secret check off.
So the interesting thing is here we talked about, we played the game, I mean, Harry jumped in because she wanted to see the game
Yes.
at the end.
I wanted to get the end. I knew
Right.
something about 15.
And you know, it's the same thing with gambling, right? If you gamble not to win but to be entertained, then it's okay.
What?
In this case, you paid to be entertained, right?
The money's
She
not the
didn't
most
pay
important
to
thing for
lose
everybody.
until
It's small.
I was hoping that Amy wasn't going to get out there. I mean, I really was hoping she wasn't going to outwit me, but you know.
Well, it was already into it for $9, so you know, it was calculated risk. I was going to lose $9 no matter what, so I ended up losing 10.
Right.
It kind of brings us to the next question, which is something we have anticipated. How does this relate to real life? Have you ever spent more than $10? You guys are too smart. Do you have a friend who spends?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I believe like, I mean, some say the shorter here, but in real life we play this game every other, week or every other month. Taking the organizations, and let's suppose you are
are six different groups in an organization. You are planning a budget. You will see this happening all the time, whether you have the real money on the table or projects on the table or just the stakes on the table. But this happens in almost all the organizations all the time. I mean, I can easily relate it to. It's like where you have should win-win all the departments, because as an organization we lost, like the winner also lost, the loser also lost. Together we lost more.
They achieved the purpose.
Yeah. Suppose he's the CEO of the organization who is planning the budget. I mean, he is obviously, getting money back from the whatever he planned for. But ultimately, the organization lost in many ways. We are competing, and we should not compete, and we should collaborate. It is not a competition. It is not even a healthy.
Interesting. For a young person, it sounds so simple.
So it depends on how the incentives are structured in the organization. If you look at a company like Fidelity, where I used to work, where IT, the business had a budget, their goal was to spend 80% of it. IT's goal was to spend 100% of the business budget. The incentives aren't aligned. You're going to have zero-sum game.
Very interesting thought. By the way, I have done this more than 3,000 times around the world. And and how many times do you think people have stopped after the first date? If only, actually it happened 3 times. Out of 3,000. Once in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, because the interpreter did not understand what I was saying, and the participants did not understand what he was saying. The other time, once was in Detroit in 1970, in an inner city school, in a 10th standard classroom. I go there, hold up $1, and one of the kids stands up and says 50 cents, pulls out a switchblade and starts manicuring his fingernail, looks around the class, absolute sight. I gave him $2. And once in the 7th grade classroom, somebody jumped on the table and he said, he is jerking our chains.
He's what?
He's jerking our chains. It's not a contest between us, it is a contest between us and that guy. This is like space invaders. We are not fighting with each other. We should be fighting with him. So everybody shut up and don't debate. And that was a brilliant strategy, and his ability to convince this group. You try to convince people, and would she listen to you? No.
No, he said it after.
I said it after.
Okay, that's not convincing.
And so on and so forth. So the question from a game theory point of view, what is the unit of interaction? Is it between Silvana and Nancy, or is it between us and an outside agitator? That is something we need to look at. And are we competing unnecessarily between one department and another department to make the corporation, the organization, lose money? What if instead of $10, I got auctioned out $1, 50 cents, 10-cent increments? Would more people have participated?
Yeah, there's less risk.
Less risk, more people. How about I made it $500, $250 initial bid?
Depends on the level of trust with everyone else.
Exactly. To one extent, depends on the risk taking. I did it at the annual conference of American Bankers Association. Within 3 minutes, the bidding was around $750 for and they are too big to lose, something like that. So, a lot depends. What if I did not collect the money from the bidders and we play money, I did not collect the money? Would the learning have been equally powerful? No. it hurts me more than it hurts you.
I don't think
Father
so.
used to say that.
He gave you 9. I remember, 15.
My God.
Thank you, sir.
How much did I get from him?
10. That's 1. I'm giving you $1.
Oh. Okay. So.
Someone has your face on.
Hey, me and Ron Paul, we are into not spending any money. So the last round, the last question is, if I were to auction off another $10, how would you behave? How many of you would keep your mouth shut?
If you what? What was that? If you
Auctioned off another $10.
I'd be the first one in again.
Yes,
I would propose that if we all cooperated together, we could have an opening bid of $5. It wouldn't be a big win, but we could beat you by splitting the remaining
Good.
$5.
How many times do you think this has happened?
Never.
There were accounts, and they said, look, we are not socialists here. What made our country great is an entrepreneurial spirit.
Which means there's no penalty for cheating.
Just listen to his accent. He's obviously an outside educator. Do you think John Wayne would have agreed to this proposal? And so on and so forth. Almost immediately somebody will wait and say, I did it because Thiagi said that.
He's an educator.
Things like that. But that is a great idea, and people have tried it and not too successfully. That is something strange. When it comes down, people sympathize more with me than with you. I think there is no justice in the world, but there is always a Nancy and a Silvana who will outweigh each other. So something for you to ponder on, but more importantly, ask yourself, how many different ways am I playing the $10 auction in my real life? I did this once in a public workshop in San Francisco. 3 months later, one of the participants, her name was Brenda, she called and she said, I just wanted to tell you that the dollar auction taught me more than what my shrink was able to do for the last 5 years. So I did my best to Bob Newhart imitation and say, She said, every Friday I tell myself, I'm not going out with that jerk anymore. And then I tell myself, I have invested so much of my emotional energy in this relationship. So maybe I should go out with him and tell him assertively what I want from the relationship, and we will live happily ever after. She said she has been doing that self-talk for 52 weeks every year for the past 5 years. And on that day when she went back, she asked herself, do I really need this, or am I behaving like that? And it suddenly dawned on her, she's throwing good money after bad, and she decided to stay home and read a book. And so the dollar auction becomes a metaphor for wasting money, wasting your psychic energy. Hello?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I understand how that story relates to the game.
The story relates to the game. Instead of investing cash, she was investing her time and her trust in going out with a jet.
Okay.
And she decided it is not necessary, it is a sunk cost. She is not going to suddenly recover all of the emotional energy she had invested. It's a good for nothing kind of a job. So ask yourself, in my organization, in my family, with my friends, with my enemies, in my industry, in what ways, as Mayank said, in what ways am I throwing good money after bad, or good time after bad time? For example, as a consultant, I write proposals to clients. Clients say, can you expand on that? I rewrite it, add more information. Client says, can you give an example of the training package you will do? I send the training package. He says, thank you, we decided to do everything in-house. That is easy for him to do because I have done everything you wanted to do as a part of the proposal, throwing time and the things like that. Something for you to ponder on. And as Cam said, she spent $500 to come to this conference. Wow, is she getting money? She keeps on throwing more money to increase the return on investment. So that is the what next part 2. If I use this as a metaphor, am I doing this? Hello.
How did you stop giving an example or elaborating and that kind of stuff? Because a lot of us probably have been in that rut of giving too much and then going ahead with their own.
If we knew how to stop, I would be a rich person now. I haven't stopped it, except to say after that, just like what Michael said, wow, I should not have done that. And I'm actually enabling his greedy, selfish behavior. So, yep, I'm sorry you are doing it, but I don't have a simple approach. You need a therapy, I need therapy.
I'm just thinking that there might be some sort of little hook that you have not given them everything, because the debriefing, as we're seeing right now, is by far the most valuable part of the training. So, you know, you let them know that they don't have it all. They're missing a big chunk.
Nancy, you ready? $10. How much would you like to do? So Nancy needs a remedial inspection. She's under the delusion if she beats the first round, she's safe. It may be, may not be. Maybe there are only 2 people bidding, in which case she will lose $5. But you guys ponder on this. Okay, so that is an example of a couple of things. One is a cash game, and the other one is the power of debrief. One of my graduate students played this game, asked everybody on a 5-point scale. 1, if you learned very little, 5, if you learned a lot. How would you rate your experience? And many people put a 0 and they said we learned less than little. This is confusing. And after debriefing, if you ask them, now how much do you feel you learned, it goes into higher level of understanding. It is the debriefing which does the lines. Hello, Andre.
I'm still confused.
Very good. You need a therapy.
You can go with me.
Good. So, should you be debriefing everything you do to this extent? Probably not. But does this metaphor have any relationship to Agile programming or Agile approach? Can you come up with an example? Something for you to ponder on. Hello.
Gold plating the product. Oh, we can do more, we can do more, we can do this, we can do that, we can add this. That's not what we were asking. You're great, you want to add it.
Good. It is very easy.
Retrospectives?
Yeah. Yes, very good. Very good. Yep. You guys ready for another painful episode. Hello.
Change the subject. Can I just ask a question? On time allotment, I agree with the importance of always including an activity. Sometimes I feel that the activity is long enough for us to really accomplish it, and you feel rushed. How much time should you allot for activity, and how much time for debriefing, percentage-wise, when you have a lesson?
Depends. You need a debriefing under 3 conditions. More debriefing under 3 conditions. Number 1, if the relationship between the activity and the real world is not direct, is not clear. For example, if I'm doing a flight simulator where there is a one-to-one correspondence, I don't need this kind of an emotional debriefing because it is clear-cut, I know what it is. The second one is how much emotion does it arouse. The more emotional an activity is, the longer the debriefing you need. And the third variable is how much multivariate, how many factors are into account. In this case, for the $10 auction, the obvious one is the financial aspect, but equally important is the size of the audience, is the behavior of people at the table, is David's enabling over Andre by passing in some money. So there are other factors that are involved, and there are innocent people trying to figure out what the heck is happening. Why do people wrecking the car? And things of that nature. So that is another element to take into account. There are times I have done a 3-minute experiential activity and spent 2 days debriefing.
Wow.
And we will see some examples of that tomorrow. Okay, now there is an activity. It's called a PC simulation. PC stands not for politically correct, not for personal computer, but for playing cards. How many of you know how to play poker? Good. A whole class full of gamblers. Here is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to ask my friend Andre to have half of the deck of cards. You guys come to me, I will give you a card and hold the card, move around the room, look at other people's cards. Whatever you do, do not let go of the card. This is the first part of the activity. Get a card from me or from Andre and hold it in front of you so everybody can see it. You look at the card also, move around and see other people's cards.
Look at someone else's, not yours.
We can look at ours too, right?
Yeah, you can look at yours too.
Look at our own cards.
Anybody want to trade?
Sorry. That's a card. You got a card?
Oh, great, just to form a line.
Hello. Everybody please. Please listen to me for a minute. Here is how the game goes. Organize yourselves into a team of 5. Do not give your card away. Do not take anybody's card. You are your card. Organize yourself into a team of 5. The team with the best poker hand gets, each member of the team gets $2.
Just hold on high. Hold on high. Who wants me? Are you? There's a 6. 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Come in. 5,
I know, just like, is there a John Wayne? No comment. No comment. We're a team. All for one. We're a team. All right. We're out of the game.
Do you want to trade? Oh, because he played this game. Because I heard you say, oh, I know this one. Right, you said right behind me, like, oh, I know. So you guys have all played this
Okay. One more minute.
Oh. We're done.
We're done.
We're done. Who wants more time? This is 1 minute for 0 minutes. Who wants more time?
They're not showing the cards, is that okay?
No.
You went first. Okay. Our folks, time's up. What do you guys have? Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. That's a straight. Yeah, straight flush. Beautiful. Anybody got a better hand?
What's their hand?
What's straight flush?
What's high? 7 high.
Straight flush, 9 high.
No, but that is flush, not a straight flush.
Oops. What's not straight about it? What's straight about it?
It left his hand. It left his hand. Doesn't that count?
Aren't we competitive? Ah! What do you mean we're not standing in the right order? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
This team has 5 S's.
Oh,
Ringer.
They have 4 S's. Anybody who know technically whether 4 days is beat straight right?
Five.
Straight flush is higher.
Straight flush is good, the rest of 4 of the time. Yes, straight flush is higher.
Good. Here are the winners. Yay.
They owe everybody $10.
We learn from experience.
Good.
Yeah, and
Let me collect the cards back.
and the meta-ability. That was really important.
Okay. Have a seat.
Everybody's game for
You must have a pair of jacket gloves.
By the way, Tom, what did you learn?
What's your design?
Work together.
Anybody learn anything?
Work together.
Work together.
It stinks if you're not a low card.
Self-organization?
It stinks if you're dealt a low card. By the way, that was a 5 of spades, and they stuck with the person with the 5 of spades in spite of the fact that somebody with the 10 of spades offered to become a member and kick the 5 of
I
spades.
believe actually someone with the 10 of spades was offered by you to be.
Exactly. Somebody with the 10 of spades was sent in to infiltrate this cohesive group. How many times have we stuck with our brother-in-law who is totally incompetent? Somebody comes because we say we are all one big family.
It wasn't about that. It was about that if one of the team members is affected, then the knowledge that we had a straight flush with the high card would go out, and then other people may try to go for a straight flush with another thing, and so there's actually more risk from the person leaving than there was from having them stay there.
Well, yes.
From a totally pragmatic perspective, besides the fact we already were a team and we bonded.
Well,
so.
yes, and I was the next highest card. So if you got rid of the lowest card, who's to say that you wouldn't try to get rid of me next?
Well, and our team got rid of a person, and then that person, the person that we wanted, decided to go with another team anyway, so we were worthless. Someone else may not be good.
Interesting. So you were jilted by somebody, and somebody dumped you, and they went because there was a better offer through. What if I said the winners will get $10 each? Would that have changed your behavior?
It would have been more energy, more frenzy. I would have left.
Wow, my reputation is going down in Michelle's estimations. Okay, I'm glad I did not do that. And by the way, technically, it should have been, we had lots of people, I don't know what happened to the Jack of Diamonds.
Did you rig the deck? Is that a rigged deck?
It is not intentionally rigged, but obviously because there were not 52 people, and some of the cards were left behind. And but one of the interesting debriefing things is blame facilitator syndrome. Goes along, the first reaction is attack the facilitator, which is good.
Do you think there's this type of competition? So that TV show Survivor, where they're all building alliances and trying to get rid of people. Do you think that actually happens on the Agile team? That people are like,
Really?
So,
within the team?
I guess I'm very lucky
between what's a transition?
Ours doesn't.
Within a team?
Your incentive structure supports that? Yeah.
Which is out there.
Keep talking.
So I wanted to observe that Michael did two things on our team from an Agile leadership perspective that does relate. One was that he showed some but not overbearing leadership by saying everybody come together, stick together, we're a team. He reinforced that idea and gave us something to focus around that went strictly behind the numbers. And two, he reflected to us what we were doing. He would say, do you see what's happening? He was trying to break us up, and no, that's okay, you're part of the team. And when I would say, yeah, I don't want to be the last one thrown out too, he would help reflect that. So those were two things that without a whole lot of authority, he still managed to help the team form together to fight those very structures that you're talking about.
He's on a different incentive plan.
I think you also had a vision, and you came and found one or two people that could make your vision come true.
Yeah, we had 3 cards. We were running around 3 cards, right? they were connected, right? There was some partial connection, right?
Right.
And then we're trying to find, oh, who can help make this dream come true?
And it wasn't bringing.
It's over the top.
That, by the way, was persistent behavior, and it so happened that you quickly found that missing two people. Interesting. Something for you to ponder on. This ancient Hindu saying, simulation games don't develop character, they just defeat it. So you don't become a better leader, you're already a leader, and the game gives you an opportunity to demonstrate. You could already be a cutthroat person. The game does not make you into a cutthroat person, it just makes it visible, makes it salient that you are a greedy, cutthroat person or something along those lines. Okay, so these are a couple of examples of soft skill simulation games. And let me do a not flaky, not too silly soft skill simulation game. I'm going to do a production simulation, and here is what I want for you to do. We did a bunch of games today. We read about a bunch of activities also today, and this is the task which says for the remaining 21 minutes and 17 seconds, you work independently or with a partner or with a team. Depends whether your name is Dean or something else. You could be totally all by yourself. There is no peer pressure. And your job is to think of some training topic in the area which you'll be doing some training, some Agile technology approach related concepts of procedure or skill. Your job is to design a training game. When I say design, all I want is an outline, just a thought, back of the envelope concept, not your detailed everything. And you prepare an outline which you'll be pitching to some decision makers, and the main goal I'm trying to do is how quickly you can plagiarize what we did today. In other words, I'm not asking you to start from scratch, come up with a game. Ask yourself, okay, we played that missing sentence game. We played the other game where there was stuff on a piece of paper and we went around. So how can we steal this game and so on? So, can we distribute this for me? There are the instructions. Thank you, sir.
Maybe this is where that 56 different things when we split the sheets up. If we have a list of requirements of our clients and you wanted them to somehow put them in priority, and you did it that way, so you here are the 50 things that we heard. Go ahead. The example that we did today was
Being partner, independent.
yeah.
You get more out of it. See the thing in your negative point, we all work together. So, but that's okay.
I guess I can learn more than you guys.
We're hoping a lot.